and the one thing that stops most everybody from reaching their goals. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, money.
Fear. So what is fear? False evidence appearing real. We make it up in our mind. And whatever image you have in your mind, negative or positive, it's going to start to come into your life. So the moment you go to say, yes, this is my goal, I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to go out there and do something totally new, your body is now in the unknown. And when you're in the unknown, the body's like, I know I don't like it back there, but I'm very comfortable because that's what I'm used to. And so to go that way, you have to go through this thing called the terror barrier. And that is where fear comes in. Fear is doubt. So once you start to doubt yourself, you start getting anxiety. Anxiety turns into depression, which turns into disease. So here you go, I'm quitting my job tomorrow. Oh, I quit. Oh my gosh, I got bills to pay. My bank account doesn't have that much money in it. How am I going to do that? And then you start thinking, oh, I'm going to go get a job again. I can't do this anymore. Like, it's too fearful for me. So that is because you started focusing on the negative aspects of your goal. So instead, what are you going to do? You're going to realize you're going to be in the knowing. Once you know that fear is false, evidence appearing real, you can overcome the fear. Yes, you're going to be uncomfortable, but you got to be willing to be uncomfortable before you get comfortable. And then you're comfortable, and then it's fine, and you can do it again and again and again. So fear stops more people than anything else. If you don't overcome your fear, you're going to be as far as you're ever going to go. And I see this all the time when I'm coaching people online. They're like, oh, you want me to do a Facebook video? Oh, I can't do it. And guess what they start to do? Excuse. Excuses don't get your result. Get rid of your excuse, you find your result. So you have to get rid of those excuses and do it anyways, even though you're fearful of it. So yes, we're going to judge ourselves. Yes, we're going to say, my hair doesn't look good today. I don't have good energy today. You have to say, you know what? I don't care what I look like. I'm going to put myself out there and get uncomfortable. That's the only way to grow. Okay? And I have this beautiful picture. So just think about it. Think of the number of people that you know who are in a job they don't like. They don't enjoy it, they're underpaid and they're overworked, but yet they're afraid to quit. Why? Because they're afraid they will not get anything else, and that is a bad way to live. When you overcome your fear, it opens up to so much opportunity. So what helps us overcome this fear is knowing what causes the fear. Once you know what causes your fear, you can eliminate it. So the moment you start getting fearful, what do you start thinking of? Don't think about the fear. So let's imagine, Natalie, what's your goal? Or if you're not comfortable telling us.
Yeah. What's my goal?
Just
not
name one
punching
goal.
the clock. Yeah.
You don't want to have a job tomorrow.
No.
Okay. So the moment that Natalie says, okay, I'm not going to punch the clock anymore, she's going to be out in the unknown, she's going to get doubt, which is fear and doubt to go together, right?
Yeah.
And so what are you going to do when that fear and doubt stomps in? What are you going to do? How are you going to deal with that? The fastest way to change your vibrational energy to get you going back on the right path is write out in your journal what you want, as if it's already happened. I'm so happy and grateful now that I don't have to punch in the time clock. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have an unlimited amount of money in my bank account. I wake up every day happy and grateful that I live in the ocean of this beautiful home. My jet's down there. I got a private guy, right, that flies me around all over the world. And notice what that just did to you. Smile on your face. You're happy. It changed your vibrational energy, is what it did. So the moment you start to fear and doubt, what do you want? Write it out. Start getting emotionally involved in it. It's the emotional involvement in your goal that attracts these things to our reality a lot faster, because everything is energy. And we're going to go through the laws of the universe tonight. Okay, there's escape hatches, like we talked about. The fear and doubt, excuse, oh, I can't do that because of this. Oh, I'm gonna do it next month because of this. You just have to make the committed decision and not look back. Otherwise, those little escape hatches are gonna be really easy for you to say, oh, there we go. And then you never made it to your goal. So you literally are the director of your life. So you have to figure out what you really, really want. If you could have anything, what do you want? Anything. Lindsay, what do you want?
I want to be a multimillionaire so I can help a lot of people.
Excellent. So now you can become it in your mind first. Because everything starts here as an image in your mind first. And now you're going to act as if you are. Because you got to set your body up to where it's going. You got to be from your goal here, looking down at where you're at, saying, this is where I'm going to be. So a multimillionaire, what do they look like? What do they talk like? What do they do all day? Start studying some of these people. And you literally become it. And then you're going to get validation coming out here into your third world. You're going to be like, all right, I just got validation here that I'm on the right track. People are going to start paying you for your services. And you're like, oh my gosh, I am going on my goal. And that's what you need, the momentum to keep you going. Okay? So eliminate the fear. It's the indecision, the doubt that's behind the fear. And the opposite side of fear is faith and belief. So behind fear, behind faith, you can't see what's behind either of those. So why the heck do we keep leaving behind the fear versus the faith? Why do we do that? It's our program. We are programmed. When these individuals are raised, the ideas and beliefs that were programmed were more on the fearful negative side as well as their perception. Be careful. Take it easy. It's better to be safe than sorry. Don't get in trouble. I told you not to do that. Maybe you'll listen next time. That is our program. So these girls, I teach them to be unlimited. Leilani, what do you want to drive when you're old enough to drive? A Lamborghini. A Lamborghini. What's the back going to say? And then you're going to put gold on the outside, right? And what color is the Lamborghini? Gold. Like she already knows what she wants. Because I'm not limiting her. So if she's like, hey mom, I want a Lamborghini, I'm like, you'll never have one of those. That's too expensive. Are you kidding me? And then she's going to say, oh, you're right. And the moment she goes on to her life, when she's older, she's like, oh, mine doesn't grow on trees. I can't afford that. You know, I don't deserve that. And that becomes your program. So these children are programmed at such a young age, and that plays over and over and over. And they get older, but they're still having the same thoughts. And it started from someone else's thoughts. So I'm very passionate about children, especially because at that young age, they're a sponge. So we can teach them whatever they want, right? You're going to have a Lamborghini. Right, I love it. Okay, so here we go. So here's basically what happens to a person who sets a goal and fails. All of us know somebody. Think about January. Everybody goes to the gym to lose weight. And it's packed. And then a month later, nobody's there. Why did they do that? Fear and doubt. It's too hard. I don't want to do it. They didn't keep the image in their mind, right? So we have this power that's flowing into our conscious mind. We call it thought energy. So over here, I drew a little picture. So this is our conscious mind. So remember last time I said we have divide our head in half? Conscious mind, subconscious mind. Our conscious mind is hooked up to our senses. That's see, smell, taste, touch, and sound. That's our conscious mind. It plugs us into our outer environment. Under that, we have our subconscious mind. That is our program. Is this understanding? When you're young, 6 years and younger, you only really go here. You don't have this part. You can't analyze. You can't think. There's no analytical facilities until you're older. So, conscious mind brings in things from our environment. The conscious mind has the ability to choose. That's one of the best abilities we have. So I can say, Tammy, you know what? What you're doing with whatever that you're doing over here is not good. I think you should stop. You can say, you know what? I don't believe that thought, Amanda. I choose different. You have the ability to choose. So whatever someone tells you, you have the ability to decide, is that good or is that bad? Do I want to believe that? Do I not want to believe that? The moment you say, yes, that's what I believe, that's what I'm emotionally involved with, and tomorrow I'm gonna have the COVID. And you start to believe it, you start to get emotionally involved in it. As soon as that happens, it goes into your subconscious mind. Now it's like a seed, and it starts to sprout. It starts to grow. And guess what that does? It puts your body into a vibration. That vibration, remember the law of attraction is the law of vibration. You can only attract what you're in harmony with. So if you fear and doubt and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make the bill next month on my house, I'm going to get foreclosed on. And you choose to believe that thought, now you put your body into a vibration and you attract exactly the things that you were hoping not to attract. So we have the ability to choose with our conscious mind. Okay? So we have this power that's flowing through us all the time. We take this energy and start thinking about the goal. Okay? We're thinking about the goal, excited about the goal. Then we don't see the resources of how we're going to get to the goal. So we instantly start to doubt. That's what we do. Then we make the wrong decisions. We make no decision. We worry. We become fearful. Now we go down a very destructive path. Okay, does this sound familiar? No, but now you're in the knowing, so you can not do it again. So the choice is yours, faith or fear. So the greatest power we have is the power of choice. Once you choose fear, you instantly start creating a negative picture in your mind of what you don't want. You look at your current results, you don't see the resource to get the goal, you look at the bank account, you don't see the money. Look out, anxiety, it's coming your way. This is what happens next. Remember, the subconscious mind cannot choose. Whatever goes in here is in here. That's it. It's like a flower and it's going to grow. No matter, or it's a weed, it's going to grow. It doesn't matter. It's going to grow no matter what. So, the picture gets planted in your subconscious mind, which creates fear. Fear is an emotion that's caused by impressing negative energy upon the emotional subconscious mind. So you suppressed it in there, it's there, waiting, and it's like, whatever is impressed must be expressed in actions and vibrations and physically as anxiety. So fear, doubt, suppressed, anxiety. I'm scared, I don't know what to do, I'm in pain now. Depression, disease. Anxiety, depression, disease. Now you're using your mind against you, and you're causing your body a lot of problems. You're making wrong choices. Suppressed anxiety turns into depression. Depression is caused by negative energy being suppressed. If this keeps going, depression turns into disease and in pain. Isn't it amazing? Thoughts are energy. So we got to be really conscious about what we're doing. So here's what I want to describe next. So in our body, you have what's known as energy centers. So you have 8 of them. They start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's 8 of them. So when you have this energy that's flowing to and through you, these are little individual brains is what they're called. They all communicate within each other. Okay, so when we have this negative energy, we have hormones we produce, like cortisol and adrenaline, fear. It causes us to run and to hide. So when that happens, that energy, we start to block our energy centers. We start to get scared. We start to say, oh, stop those energy centers, and now we don't have female cycles anymore. Now we have back pain. Now our body's all rustled up. So I'm going to teach you an exercise here in a minute on how to breathe and get your body out of that stressed out mode. Okay, so first, before we do that, we're going to go through the universal laws. Okay? So here is laws. Just like you take a rock and it falls to the floor, that's gravity, right? That's a law of the universe, you know that. So here is the universal laws of life. So there's really only one law, and that law is God is, or energy is, depending on who you talk to, what religion or what science. All of the other laws are subsidiary laws. So if you go to a scientist, they're going to tell you energy is. God or energy is neither created or destroyed. The cause and effect of itself, it's 100% evenly present in all places at the same time. So God is, energy is, depending on who you're talking to. So the first law here is perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy is always moving into form, through form, and back into form. So energy is always moving to form, through form, back into form. Always. So you can see it here. Evaporation goes to the clouds, goes to condensation, goes to precipitation, and back into water. It's always moving. Energy is always moving. So then we have the law of relativity. Nothing is big and nothing small until you compare it to something else. I love this law. You can kind of trick your mind with it. Your goal is not big or small until you compare it to something else. Play a mind game. That costs a lot. Compared to what? You know, what are you comparing it to? Turn a big problem into a small problem. So think about this, your goal. Let's imagine that you have a goal of making $5,000 a month. To some people, that would seem like a lot of money, right? But if you start to tell yourself, you know, my goal is $100,000 a month, now you look at the $5,000, you say, that's really small, right? Or if you want a house, and the house is $10 million, you gotta be like, that's really a lot. But then if you start looking at $50 million houses, you're like, oh, 10 million, that's not that much. And so that is a law of the universe. Nothing is big and nothing is small until you compare it to something else. Pretty cool to know that, isn't it? The law of vibration. You can only attract what you're in harmonious vibration with. Your goal is a vibration, and so are your thoughts. You become what you think about because your thoughts put your body into a vibration that attracts everything in harmony with your thoughts. So remember, right back here, your thoughts were on a frequency, create a vibration in the body, and then you attract everything that's needed to get to the image in your mind, negative or positive. So how many of you did the homework? Good job. So we learned about your intellectual faculties. Okay, we'll go over them very briefly. Good job. Superstar student right here. So we have first your imagination. So before there was anything, you had to be seeing it first here. So this is known as your intellectual faculty, and there's 6 of them. And they're not taught to you in school, but I do teach you, girls don't die. Yes. So the first one is, if you want it, you gotta be able to see it. If you can't see it, don't even think about it, it's not gonna happen. Then you have your intuition. That's your guide. That's how to get to your goal. So whatever you ask yourself, there's always a question. You type into Google, what is this? It's gonna have an answer. Same thing with our body. You ask yourself a question, there always is an answer. That's your intuition. Your intuition is never wrong. So you have that gut feeling, it's like, don't do that, and you don't listen to it, what usually happens? You're like, why didn't I listen to myself? That's your intuition. That's, some say God's speaking to you. Whereas praying is you speaking to God, God's speaking to you. So when you have the image in your mind, you start to ask yourself the question, how do I do that? You're going to get an answer, and you got to act in the answer. Okay, because that's going to put your body in the vibration to do the things that you need to do to get your goal. Okay? So then we have your focus. How many of you know how to focus? Children nowadays don't know how to focus. And then you have ADD, ADHD, and all these other brain issues. Why? Because there's so many thoughts coming around you, you can't decide which one to go towards. So you have too many going on, you can't focus. So it is a muscle. It's a mental muscle you have to develop. And how you do that is you take a candle, or you take a dot and you put it on the wall, and you focus all of your energy right on that dot on the wall. And you, when your mind says, oh, think about this over here, I gotta go to the bathroom, oh man, I got some emails, I gotta check them right now. And you say, focus, focus, focus. The more you do that, the more you catch yourself sliding, the more you're able to focus on that. Your focus is like a laser beam. The more you give your focus to something, it's energy. Think about the light in the room. It's going all around, right? Think about a laser. That can cut through steel. That is thought energy. It's the most potent energy. It goes through all time and all space. So if your goal is here and all you do all day long is focus 100% of that energy on your goal, guess what's going to happen? You're going to give so much energy to whatever it is, and whatever you get energy to has to grow. And then you're like, how did I get to my goal in 6 months when I thought it would take 10 years? Because you focused on it. But you got to develop that as a mental muscle. Okay? Then you have your reasoning factor. So your reasoning factor, think about all the other little creatures, like the fly. I like to use this analogy. The fly cannot think. We have the ability to think, right, girls? So if there's a door there, and there's a screen door, and it's open, and the fly sees the window, he's gonna go at it and at it and at it and at it and at it, and he's like dead. Right? Because the fly kept hitting the screen door, kept hitting himself, and pretty soon he's dead. But he did not realize, he didn't think, oh, if I just open the door a little bit, over there, I see it's open, I can go right through. They don't have that ability, so we have the ability to think. So then we have our perception. That's how you view the world. Is your glass half full, or is it empty? With every negative, there's a positive. So think about something negative in your life, there's also positive. If it's really, really bad, there's got to be really, really good. So that is your perception, how you view the world. So you want to use your perception, your ability, to the better. You want to use it to positive things, not negative. And then the last one is your memory. So your memory works on ridiculous association. Funny. So if I want to remember Tammy, I think of Tammy Fammy, Tammy Mammy, Tammy Lammy, or something cute that would rhyme, that would make me happy. Because that's ridiculous association. And then over and over and over again. So that's how it works. So you can literally memorize things if you know how your memory works. So those are our 6 intellectual faculties. And if you go back to your homework on this group page, you're going to notice I put them all there for you, all 6 of them, in detail for you, so you know exactly what they are. Okay, so don't forget to do that. Okay, law of vibration. Okay, the law of polarity. Everything has an opposite. You cannot have an in without an out, an up without a down, or a hot without a cold. Every positive has a negative, and every negative has a positive. Every problem comes with an equal or greater opportunity. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So everything negative has a positive, positive, negative, up, down. The law of rhythm. Everything has a rhythm. Sleep and wake rhythm, female cycle rhythm, tide goes in, tide goes out, 4 seasons, night follows the day, our bodies have a rhythm. So everything is on a rhythm. It's interesting to know these things, isn't it? I wish they taught these things in school. For every cause has an effect. I think we know this one pretty well, most of us. So the law of law. For every action, there is a reaction. Whatever you put out comes back. You're putting out negative, 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 because I'm back to you, negative, negative, negative. That's why always put positive out there, right, girls? Yes. They're very good students. The law of gender. Everything has both male and female. You cannot have one without the other. All seeds have an incubation or gestational period. So you plant a carrot or seed, that's your thought. It takes time to germinate. Seeds for a baby is planted, it takes 280 days before the baby's born. Your thoughts are seeds, it's just a matter of time before they come to life. So that's the law of gender. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the brain waves. How are you doing with all this information? Am I overwhelming you with too much? Because why? You don't get overwhelmed, right? No. I remember my coach, Jeffrey, he says, what do you do when you're overwhelmed, Amanda? I said, I don't get overwhelmed. He's like, exactly. Because if you were to tell yourself, I am so overwhelmed right now, then what do you become? Overwhelmed. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. Oh, shoot, I can't deal with my overwhelmed. Okay, but here's the thing. We have brain waves. So one of the main functions of the brain is to create meaning between the inner world and the outer world and the inner world to create balance. Okay, so this is very, very important information to know. I went to 3 8-day retreats with Dr. Joe Dispenza to start learning about your brain. We even have a brain tap, which can analyze your brain. We were watching it today. We put little measures here on your wrists, and for 6 minutes, I think, or 3 minutes, it measures your brain waves. And then you put the brain tap on. It's like 10 to 20 minutes on your body, and you analyze it again. And it takes your brain waves and balances them all out. So you get out of the beta brain waves. So beta brain waves, when your outer world is more real than your inner world. This is your conscious mind. So when you're thinking up here, you're in your conscious mind. So your brain waves are fast. So we have 3 levels of brain, beta brain waves. We have low level. This is your relaxed, and you're paying attention. So right now, most of you are probably in low level beta. Then we have mid-range, which is when you perk up and you pay attention. I'm like, hey, there's a test at the end. And if you don't pass, you don't leave. Okay, I'm gonna perk up now. Okay, so that's like, now you're okay. Now you're like, oh shoot, okay. Then we have high level beta. This is emergency mode, this is stressed out. This is, oh my gosh, I can't pay the bill. Oh my gosh, my husband's divorcing me. Oh my gosh, I'm going to jail. Oh my gosh, over here. And your brain gets so out of balance. It gets so stressed out, you work yourself up into anxiety. Then we have alpha. So when your inner world is more real than your outer world. So this is alpha brainwaves. So you close your eyes, you get into your imagination, your body starts to relax, you're like, oh wow, this is great. Your brain produces these waves when you're not focusing too hard on anything in particular. Whatever you're doing, you're probably feeling relaxed and calm. So that's a good state to be in. Then we have thea. The body is asleep, but your mind is awake. So when you're in meditation, this is usually where you go. Your body is asleep, but your mind is awake. So you can still do things in your mind. Your body's completely like relaxed, and it's not really feels like a body anymore. So when you're sleeping more lightly, or when you're extremely relaxed, your brain will produce more theta waves. And we have delta. This is deep, deep sleep. When you're deep in the state of dreamless sleep, your brain is producing delta waves, which are the slowest type of brain waves. Okay? Here's what they look like. So we have beta, alpha, theta, delta. So you can kind of see associated with stress, anxiety, and fear. Useful for short-term memory and routine jobs. Alpha, we can get to that later. So here they are. So when we are looking at your brain scan, we can see exactly your brain and how it's functioning. But if you have too much of that beta, you're always in stress. You're in fight or flight all the time. No wonder you can't focus. No wonder your body's in pain. No wonder you can't sleep. Because those thoughts are creating all this environment. Because your thinking puts you into the vibration of that. Okay? So we're going to talk about meditation. Two of the best times to meditate are when your brainwaves are perfect and your subconscious mind is wide open. So when you wake up in the morning, your subconscious mind is wide open. You don't really have too much of an analytical thinking facility at that time of day. It's open. So you can get right down to your sleeping or your brainwaves that you want to be in. And then evening when you're getting ready for bed. Those are the two best times. So your brain under stress. When you're in emergency mode for an extended amount of time, your brain waves become very unbalanced. Therefore, your body becomes very out of balance. So we can kind of go back to what we learned just a minute ago with stress, anxiety, depression, disease. So we take it a little further. Your immune system, your digestive system, your cardiovascular system, all your body functions are not working and now they're out of balance. You become selfish. All you care about is yourself. Your body is in protective mode. Why would that be? If you're in stress all the time, your body's fighting or flight, it thinks something's coming after you. It thinks there's a bear over there that might eat you. So all you're doing is protecting yourself. You become very selfish. So if you get selfish people, instead of being a giver and you're always holding on, it's because they're fearful of whatever it is and they're creating that environment. You become very narrow focused. You focus on objects, problems, focus on more, or problem focus, and the more you focus on the problem, the more you're driving your body and brain out of balance, becoming more and more in high beta. So think about it, and then we do things we don't want to do. Think about maybe you're at work, coworker said something. You're driving to work, and now all of a sudden, coworker's there in your mind. You're thinking, oh, what am I going to do to her today? Oh, I'm going to put a little sticky note on there. I'm going to email her right now. I'm going to text her right now. Right? And so now you're thinking the thought, and then the next thought comes, and pretty soon the next thought comes. You get to work, you're like, and you're so stressed out because this person made you so angry. It's your thoughts that created that. And now your body is just in a vibration that you do not want. And that is your brain under stress. And we did it ourselves. Can you believe it? We did it ourselves. So if you're aware of this and you're like, oh, I don't want to go down that, I don't want to go down that road. I'm going to think over here about my goal and get really excited and motivated about my goal. Okay? So change takes place inside. So the purpose of meditation is to take your body out of stress. So if you stop thinking, what's your body gonna do? It relaxes and all your pain goes away. And you're like, how did that happen? Because I was in stress all the time, and I know, because I was thinking thoughts and made me stressed. So now your body falls asleep, and it can heal while your mind is awake and truly where we create from. So when you are in fear and stress, you cannot create. You can't get creative. And we are creative beings. That's what we're supposed to do. So I'm not saying anything about the COVID, maybe I am, but when we're in the mask, that gets a symbol that keeps us in fear. And when you're in fear, you can't create, you can't do anything because you're scared. So you run and you hide. And so then we think, oh my gosh, I got to get the vaccination, and this leads to this, and pretty soon, if we don't have it, here we are. So that's just an example of what happens when we can't create. Because if you took your body out of stress, you're like, I'm not going to get the COVID, not saying that you're going to or not, and you allow your body to relax. And you don't get scared. Your immune system's going to stay more balanced. When I was at Dr. Joe's, it's crazy. There was 1,000 people, and I don't know if I should say this on camera, 1,000 people in the seminar. Right after COVID, nobody is wearing masks. We're not allowed to video anything because they didn't want to put it on. And then they show us not brain cells, but blood cells. They have a whole bunch of researchers looking at this, scientists. They take meditators, constantly meditating, and put COVID in their body, in their blood. They're not in their body, in their blood. In the petri dish. Right there, that's great. In the petri dish. Okay, so then we got to see the slides. And we got to see that the vibration of the COVID couldn't come into the person that had been meditating in their blood. And it was over and over and over again. Same thing. People that meditated couldn't come in. Other people that didn't meditate, pretty crazy, isn't it? And so they had all these scientists looking at people that meditate. Because that, if you're in fear and stress and doubt all the time, you attract things that you don't want to attract. So I'm not saying that being meditating is going to stop COVID in your body, but I'm just saying that you balance less stress. All right, so we have two different kinds of focus. We have convergent focus. This is focusing on people, places, things you need to do, objects, problems, etc. Then we have divergent focus. This is an open focus on energy and nothing material. So what's kind of cool is this. When you close your eyes, so close your eyes for me right now. Okay, so when you feel, you cannot think. So you can use this tool anytime you want. Now, I want you to feel your ear on your right hand side and feel all around your ear. And just feel your ear. Oh, yes. And now I want you to feel your left ear and everywhere on the left side of your ear. Now I want you to feel the bottom of your right foot. And your heel. I want you to focus on the space around your heel. All the way around your heel. Just think about the heel. Or feel around the heel, rather. Feel. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes. So what you did there is you were feeling. When you feel, you can't think. So if you're ever in an area like I'm so stressed out right now, just close your eyes, start to feel the space around you. So you know what I do is I just, okay, feel my back. Now feel behind my back. Now feel the wall. And the better you get, the more you feel things. Because feeling is conscious awareness of the feelings, right? So you gotta do it more and more and more in order to get more feeling. So when I started this whole thing, I couldn't really feel too much around my ear. But now if I tell myself, hey, I want to feel the wall over there, I start to feel with our feelings, right? The wall. So the more aware you become of your feelings, you can actually feel Natalie's energy right here. I don't know if any of you online watched Bob Proctor and I when he was coaching me. He's like, I can read you like a book. And this is from the screen. He's like, you are very analytical. You are really left brain. Your parents would say you're very persistent, or he would call it persistent. But he went on and on and on and on and on. I was like, how did you know that about me? He felt my energy because he's so in tune because he does this all the time. So those are your feelings. feelings. That's what they are. They're there for feelings. Okay, so focus on open energy, or sort of divergent focus is nothing material, you're just focusing on feelings. Okay, so moving to convergent to divergent. So when you're sensing and feeling, you're not thinking. Now you get past your analytical mind, your body's gonna relax. That's basically the exercise we just did. So that's when you're in meditation. There's a meditation I'm gonna tell you about tonight. You go and do it in the morning, you do it tonight. It's gonna help you get your body out of stress. Okay. What's the timeline? How are we doing? Wow, this goes so fast. Okay. We're gonna keep going. Okay. That wasn't, I must have not, I saved a different program, but I didn't forward that program to me. So I'll put a link to a YouTube video on this that you guys want to meditate to. It's 20 minutes long from Bob Proctor, and I'll give it to you all tonight, but I'll also put the link here. Okay, so pain in the body. So letting go of the past. We're going to go through this, and then we're going to open it up for questions, and then we'll let you go home, because this is a lot of information, just to tell you. This usually takes me 3 to 6 months to go through this information, so if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, there's a lot, it is. Okay, so when you think, those thoughts create feelings, and your emotional chemicals, that's cortisol. Those negative feelings and emotions, if not released, will become stored and bundled up energy. So this goes back to our energy centers we were talking about. And stops the flow of energy to your body's different energy centers. So negative emotions is any emotion that makes you feel unhappy or a state that is not productive. So a thought is negative, right? Any emotion that makes you feel unhappy, now you're not happy. Now those emotions, those feelings are what's showing up in your body. That makes sense? So if you're thinking, I'm really guilty right now. The thought was guilt. Oh my gosh, I'm so guilty. Now you're radiating the feeling of guilt. And when you're around someone that feels guilty, you can feel it, can't you? You're like, oh, what's going on? Or when your friend comes to your house and you're like, what's going on with you? You just don't seem yourself. That's their feeling. That's the feeling of energy that they're in. So fear, stress, guilt, shame, overwhelm, anger, those are the energies we don't want to be in. And that's why those machines are so beneficial back there, those sound machines, is if you're in those feelings and you go on that machine, you push a different frequency, it's going to get your body's voltage up. And it's going to get you out of those feelings right away, and then your body relaxes and you get off and you're like, where's my pain? It's gone because you're not in those emotions anymore. Acid pain. When stress or a negative emotion in the body goes into fight or flight, creating cortisol, adrenaline, and norepinephrine, that's acid. So the moment you have fear and stress and doubt goes in your body, that's creating these hormones that goes circulating throughout your system. That's acid. Causes inflammation. That causes pain. And it gets stored. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So now we have pain because of the thought that created the emotion, that created the chemical in our body that circulated through our system. Your body is always trying to keep you balanced. That's what our body does. It wants to stay in a state called homeostasis. That means balance. Once the stressor is over, once the stressor is over, the stress hormones get stored in these energy centers around the body. Because the stress hormone gives you energy, they become highly addictive. So if you've ever been like stressed out, you're like, wow, I got so much done today. Because it gave you so much energy, and your body gets addicted to that. So now your body's craving them like a drug. It's like, the anger, it's gone. I gotta create more anger in my life because I'm used to that. The stress is gone. I have to go over here and find stress in my life so I can keep my body balanced. That's what our body does. It tries to keep us. So it gives us the thoughts that create the emotion, that create the feelings that we're in, to keep our chemicals in our system the same. And this is another way it was hard to change, because now all those past emotions that you're experiencing all the time, you don't have them anymore, and your body feels very insecure without all the stress and the fear and the doubt and all this stuff going on, the cortisol. And then you go back to get it again because your body's addicted to this chemicals that's created. So if you think the same thoughts, and almost all the thoughts we have every day are the same. So if you keep those same thoughts, and then you look at your life in 20 years, where are you going to be?
Same place.
Same place. So the first place it starts to want to change is your thoughts. So you got to change the thoughts to get a different chemicals in your system that now put you in a different vibration, and you can attract the things you want in your life. to the people we interact with and the things in our life, we all react to emotionally. Besides our own thoughts, we keep certain people in our life, do certain things and go certain places just to fulfill our body's craving for a certain emotional or chemical high. You had an abusive husband. You knew it wasn't good, and you knew you shouldn't get out of the relationship. You got out of the relationship. And then this next person that comes in your life, they are an abusive husband too. How is this possible? Because you're missing that emotion, and your body's craving it, so you start to feel the feelings, and whoop, just like, whoop, it's right there. You attracted it. Because your body's so smart, it's always trying to keep you the same. So you have to be so aware that that was your past thing that you don't want to experience anymore, and you know it, and you got to change your thoughts. And you only think the thoughts that you want to think. You cannot think anything else. Otherwise, you're going to know what's going to happen. Anxiety, stress, fear, doubt, here we go. So yeah, there your husband's yelling at you, or friends, and then you got sports cars. There's nothing wrong with sports cars and fancy things, because that's what I like to focus on, because it makes me feel good. Okay, liberate your energy and take a break from the habit. Okay, in order to be better than your body, you must break the habit and become aware of your unconscious thoughts. That's your program. So if you're not aware that these things are slipping through every once in a while, you're not going to know they exist. You're just going to keep doing the same thing. So I recommend write them down. If you're like driving, you're like, oh, where did that come from? You remembered, or it was there, write it down. So now you become more aware. Okay? You must break. And behaviors, so you can stop feeling the same feelings that keep you the same, and stop letting your body be the master in controlling you. Because your body and your mind are two separate things. Your mind is supposed to control your body. But a lot of times the body is missing the feeling. The body says, this is what I want, and pretty soon you're like, shoot, I shouldn't eat the chocolate cake. But my body really wanted chocolate cake. And I just kept eating the chocolate cake because my body's happy. But you told yourself in the morning when you woke up you weren't going to do it. I'm guilty of that too. You know what? I know I'm eating the chocolate cake thinking, what the heck am I doing? But it's good, right? And that's what I tell myself. But I could change if I decide. So having the decision, you've got to decide. It's got to be a firm, committed decision that I will do it no matter what. And you've got to be firm with your commitment. So thoughts are the language of the brain. Feelings are the language of the body. Your body is on a program and a paradigm. And you give your thoughts to create the feelings that creates your life. So, pretty much, your thoughts become your thing. Whatever you think about becomes, pretty much. Okay? Positive emotions. You want to feel more love, more joy, more bliss, more happiness, more gratitude. Because these emotions and feelings liberate you and free your energy and free you from the past. So think about this. If you really want your goal and you're writing it down, now you're meditating and you are thinking about your goal. You're in your goal, Lindsay. You're a multi-millionaire now. Oh my gosh, it feels so good to have dopamine in your body because it makes you happy. And then you have all these endorphins that relieves all your pain. And pretty soon you get out of the meditation like, wow, my body got addicted to those feelings. I got to go find them. Where am I going to get them at? You're going to experience it now with your senses. Because you're going to use your intuition, what tells you what to do to get your goal. And then once you're at your goal, you're like, oh, that wasn't that hard. I can't believe that. Because you experienced the emotions beforehand. Because you got in your meditation, you started feeling the love, you started feeling the joy, you started feeling being the powerful woman that you know that you are. So you want that. You don't want the negative emotions that create the other emotions, the chemicals in your system, like the norepinephrine, the cortisol. You don't want those. You want these ones. And you can ask Sean. The other day I got out of meditation because we were in Utah, and I come out and I'm just like, write this down! He's like, okay, what am I doing? I was like, here's what we're going to do. And I told him exactly what we're going to do. Because in my meditation, I was experiencing the emotions like, this is going to work. I know it's going to work because my intuition was guiding me. I asked myself a question, got emotionally relaxed and got into it. And pretty soon I experienced it all. And I was like, this is what we're doing. And we did it the next day, didn't we? And it's going to be super fantastic, isn't it? Like, Sean's like smiling from ear because I can't tell anybody what it is yet because we have to wait. But it's going to be so awesome. Okay. You see how excited I'm getting? Yeah. My body's on that path right now. Okay. So goal and living your dream. So that's where we have to go back to this. So what do you really want? Now that you understand your mind-body connection and how to get whatever you want, you have to figure out what you want. Not what someone else wants for you, what you really, really want. Okay? Because that's the only way you're going to get anything is if you want it. That's it. Look around your house. Everything you have is because you wanted it. We can get whatever we want. So keep that in your mind. If you want it, you're going to find a way. Goal and living your dream. When you have your goal and it's planted in your mind and you're thinking of the thoughts all day that make you happy, creating the feel-good chemicals and moving away from your past, the more you do the meditations and write your goals, the more you start to become aware of your unconscious thoughts, and the more you can start to change and allow the thoughts you want so you can feel what you want to feel. That was kind of wrong. But we did it, right? Okay, so there you are. The goal and living your dream. So that's really, it's not as challenging as we make it seem, is it? Okay, so here's a breathing exercise. So, we're all going to do this together. And I'm going to sit down because I've fallen down before doing this several times now. Okay, so here is this breathing technique. So this is going to take the energy that comes to and through you, right? We lock it up in the first 3 centers. You experience back pain. That's the guilt, the shame, sitting right there, your gut issues, and then we travel it up. So what we're going to do is we breathe all the way out. All the way. And I'm going to talk before I do it because I won't be able to talk and do it at the same time. It's not possible. And then what you're going to do is you're breathing all out through your nose. And then you're going to breathe in through your nose. At the same time, you're going to be squeezing your spine, starting all the way down at your first energy center. And you're going to squeeze everything in. And you're going to pull it in as tight as you possibly can. You might have to move a little bit. And as you do that, you breathe in through your nose, like very small, like sucking out of a straw. And you're going to bring it all the way. You're going to close your spine down every time you move up. And it's just taking all that fluid that's on your spine, it's compressing it up. It's milking it. And all of that energy, guess where it's going to go? We're going to talk about the pineal gland next time. That's your frequency finder. You have a pineal gland in your brain. It finds frequencies. And you're going to take all that energy and you're going to bring it up to your brain. And you're going to press and you're going to hold. And all that energy is going to go to your brain. Oh my gosh, when that happens, watch out. There's people that have brain orgasms. I mean, we experienced it in these live events. These people, woo! Like, what happened? Normally the energy goes out, right? But now it's coming up. So you express all the energy comes out to your brain. You feel like bliss. Oh my gosh. And then you have no pain in your body. You just feel it. And you just relax. And I've watched the people on stage do this because the easiest way to learn something new is watch it. And when you see someone doing it, you're like, oh my gosh, they have a seizure. But no, that's just how the exercise goes. Yeah, so they play the music and in the meditation, and you'll breathe and you'll bring up all that, you squeeze, and it takes a while to figure out where your muscles are at. It took me like 6 months. And then once you figure it out, you press and you hold and you squeeze and you squeeze and you squeeze and you release. And then you just move your body completely out of stress. And you feel so good. So that's what we're going to do right now. Are you ready? You can watch me first if you want. I'm not going to do the full thing because my mom. No, really, I have several times and I didn't even know because my body was just like, what's going on? Okay. It looks like that too. It is. Wow, I feel so good now. So that's basically the breathing exercise. So if you wanted to know more specific information on that, go to Dr. Joe Dispenza, and you have to pay to have an account, and you can actually get his meditations. Yep, and they're super fantastic. And
How do you
so,
spell the last name?
Dispenza. DESPENZA. Yeah. Uh-oh. Did I just do the mouth? Okay. Here we go. There it is. Dr. Joe Dispenza. So this is the one I highly recommend. So you go on his website and you find this meditation. This is going to change your life. So remember I told you after day 2 of going to this 8-day retreat, the first one, I didn't realize the pain that I had in my hip was from the thoughts I was thinking. I put my body into vibration that affected all the pain in my hip. So by the second day of doing these meditations, I was like, where did the pain go? It was gone. So now when it creeps back in my life, I'm like, oh, something crazy is going on. My body's in fear. My body's in stress. I gotta get out of this. And even now, Sean, I have to meditate. It's just a part of my routine. Okay, so every other day, meditate. That's your homework. So Julie did really good on her homework. Journaling every day is a staple. I am, whatever you want to be. So number 1, write out I am, whatever you want. And then take it a step further. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am, and exactly what your life looks like now that you are. So you're getting ready for your future memories. You're getting your body prepped for what's to come. So now your body trusts you. So you're like, look, this is what I'm going to do. So just trust me this time, okay? Just let me do my thing. And then you're going to do the meditation every other day. If you can do it every day, you're going to have better results. When I first started, I would do it morning, afternoon, and evening, all 3. Now I have other tools. I got that vibration machine, which takes it from an hour and a half. I was going to say 120 minutes. But it takes it from about 90 minutes down to 20 minutes. And then I got the brain tap. So that's 15 minutes. So now in the middle of the afternoon, I'll put the brain tap on. Oh my gosh, that's amazing too. I knew 3 minutes after I put that brain tap on, I had to have these things. I bought almost all that they had in there at the show. And then we sold them all before we got them. We have them back in stock now. So if any of you want the brain tap, and we have Dr. Porter who developed the brain tap on a Zoom call at the end of the month. That's going to be a powerful event. Yeah. So what it does, it takes you right out of the mind quick. Because meditation takes you all this breathing, all this stuff, right away. 3 minutes later, I was like, sold. How many did I get? This is great. Okay, and then we're also going to have new videos available in the training program. So if you have your email over there, you probably get them through the email. But if not, they're available in the training program. Okay? And then we're going to talk about trance state next time, how to get your body with your eyes open to be able to do the same thing instead of having to close your eyes. How to actually, and then we'll talk about the pineal gland. So remember I was talking about the breathing? That's the pineal gland there. That's your frequency finder. That's what it's developed to do. And so you've heard of fluoride?
Yeah, that's calcifies it.
It does. And then you can't
Do nothing.
You can't function because your brain's you're on a frequency, and if you can't pick up the frequency, you don't know what you're doing. So you do not want to drink water with fluoride. Okay, that's what the pineal gland looks like. So there's a little crystal. So when you do that brain exercise I'm telling you, press and hold, those little crystals, it shatters the crystals, and there's all these other hormones that are put off in your body from that. Incredible hormones your body naturally produces. Serotonin, melatonin, how to activate it. That's the fluid that I was telling you about. Valium, you create Valium. That little gland creates Valium. It also creates diotrihethamine. There's fluoride homework. Okay, so we're going to do that next time, and then we'll get into sales. So for those of you who want to be excellent salespeople out there, I have a whole course on that too. It's a lot of content, but you guys are ready for it. I want you to have a change in your life. So it's exciting times we're going through. So for all of you online, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in about 2 weeks here. We'll announce when we're going to do our next training for you.